once you make the money that you need to make to live the life that you want to have, then what keeps driving you? Is it legacy? Is it fear? Is it anxiety? Is it stress? Is it worry? Is it, passion? What is it? I guarantee you a lot of it is uncertainty and actually fear and imposter syndromes.
Bill Walsh, known as the King of Objection Handling, is the founder and CEO of the Objection Box, which is one of the leading sales training companies in the world. Bill's focus on helping entrepreneurs and sales professionals 2 to 5x their income in 45 days or less with his Objection Box methodology. His rapid rise to success includes being awarded the prestigious 2 Comma Club Award from ClickFunnels in only 4 months and generating nearly $4 million in less than 2 years. Bill's got over 28,000 followers on Instagram and 6.5 thousand members in his Facebook group that he uses regularly for coaching. Bill's big driver in all of this is to help sales professionals create financial freedom so you don't carry the stress of financial difficulties like he saw as a kid in Ireland in his mom's businesses. Well, Bill, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Chris, thank you very much. You're a legend. Thank you very much.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir. Well, given the fact that clearly your accent states that you're not from America, give us some fun facts about Ireland, man.
Shit, I am Irish. Some facts of Ireland. I think we are the funnest people on this earth, that's for sure. We are probably the most well-liked people on this earth, that is for sure. And we call it Crack Agus Ceol in Ireland, which is, we're the fun police, so we make sure that everyone is having a good time. So, yeah, no, there's not a whole lot of facts from Ireland other than we're awesome people.
Well, that's amazing, man. You definitely have good energy, and I guess that carries on into everything you do. I'm very impressed with the accomplishments and the milestones that you've had in the world of sales. And so I just kind of want to dive in. A guy from Ireland growing up, what was that like, and how did you get into sales? And just kind of run us through a little bit of that story before we get into to the meat and potatoes.
Yeah, where I grew up is a million miles away from online money, online businesses, online kind of spaces and everything else in between. As I said to you, like we walked down Brickwell last night and it's just everywhere. It's just constant in your face. So I don't grow up in that like life. I grew up in a town in Ireland where there was 8,000 people. I didn't know there was a credit card. I didn't have a credit card until I was 26 years of age. I'm only 31 now. So I grew up pretty easy in a sense of like your body is how you make money, it's how you live, it's how you thrive, it's how you have any element of anything in life. I didn't really know that I had a brain until I was 21, 22 when I came out of military. So yeah, it's a million miles away from online money, online businesses, what we do now for sure.
And so how did you get started in this world of sales? What was it that intrigued you about getting started in the industry?
I didn't actually want to get started. It was more of a case of a need rather than anything. So I fell into sales coming out of that crazy world that we used to know as COVID. I was a fitness trainer in London, and a friend of mine who was also in fitness, he was trying to sell fitness programs, and he asked me to give him a hand during COVID, and I did. And after a week, I sold and made more money selling fitness than I was doing fitness. And then the penny dropped. I was like, I think we're in the wrong game. I think we're on business, we're in the right business, but I think we're doing it wrong. So that's how I kind of fell into sales, and then it kind of just took off then in 2021.
And so you were a fitness trainer before?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so then your friend gave you an opportunity to sell some of his programs, and you saw the opportunity.
Basically, yeah. So I spent 4.5 years in military from the ages of 18 to 22. Spent 22 to 27, 28 in fitness in London. And then from 28, started off in full-time sales in 2021 or so.
And did you ever imagine you were going to get into sales before that?
No, I don't. Well, I think we've always been in sales. I think the life that I've lived has benefited me in sales, but no kid ever grows up waking up, putting it on, pieces of paper of their future and, oh, we're salesmen, So it was something that was just a necessity rather than something that I wanted to do. But I kind of found something that I love at, and I found something I'm fucking pretty good at. So the best of both worlds collided, really.
And what was it like for you to actually sharpen up your sword or your skill of sales? That was your first time working and selling fitness products. You hadn't done that ever before. No. What made you actually pick up that skill or refine it?
It's a good question. I just saw the equation of making money by performing very good. And the beauty of high ticket sales, the beauty of online sales, commission only places is that when you're very good at what you fucking do, you get paid the value of what you bring to any organization market. And I saw that very, very quickly. The more I learned, the more I earned. And I just went all in on that. I learned all of the stuff that I needed to do, spent a tremendous amount of time on objections, and the rest is kind of history, as they say.
And so what is your mindset like when you're approaching a sales call?
Well, I'm there to help, firstly. I'm not there to fight or flight with the prospect. I'm there to help the prospect. There's three elements of sales. Your problem, my solution, your decision. That's it. And if I can help you and influence you to make a decision that's going to benefit you, yourself, and your family in your future, that's my job. I'm also here to find your problem, and I'm also here to present my solution to said problem. That's it. That's sales 101. That's my mindset going into every sales call when I was doing it full time. And if you go and you lead with the right intentions, you'll always help enough people.
100%, man. And who was somebody who was a mentor or somebody who inspired you or that you learned the skill from? Did you have anybody?
In sales, there's a lot of great salespeople. I get a lot of inspiration from business people, to be honest with you first. So Andy Frisella is probably my biggest inspiration that I've ever listened to. Patrick Bet-David, who we just spoke about, who's another big inspiration in business. Grant Cardone, another person. So probably another great man, Phil Knight. So those are my kind of people in terms of businesses. So that's where I got a lot of inspiration. Then there's a lot of great salespeople. I have a very good friend called Marco Cortesi, who's a very, very good salesman. He's the CEO of 7th Level. Jeremy Miners, obviously, someone that we've looked at. A good friend of mine, Eli Wild, is another great salesperson. So there's lots of great salespeople out there. So everyone have different flavors. I have a very particular flavor I do. So people like me, people like Jeremy, people like Andy Elliott, or whoever. So there's loads.
So if I or somebody wanted to hire a sales trainer, with there being so many great options out there, what really makes you special and unique?
You have to figure out what desire you have and what you actually need. Now, for me, I get deals done. What that means for me is, from the end of the conversation, I own. There's nobody that can do it like I. So that's your analogies, your hooks, your reframes, objection handling. If you're struggling with that element, then there's nobody else that can help you other than I. Now, if there's other elements where you want a cold call, I would give Jeremy a call. So there's just difference in terms of like what the actual business or prospect or the actual sales force needs. It's all based on needs. I don't think you should point blank everyone across the board and just have a generic sales training. It should be very pinpointed to the problem that you possess.
Got it. And who do you specialize in helping? Who's had the most success with what you've done?
Yeah, so lots of individual salespeople. So anyone that's selling anything, coaches, consultants, agencies, online packages, mentorships, communities, anyone that's in an online basis. Now, don't get me wrong, we've helped people to sell cars, insurance, houses, home renovations, you name it. But predominantly, we spend an awful lot of our time, 70%, in the online world.
And what have you found in working with a variety of industries and people and, countless of success stories that you already have? What are some things that turn off prospects or that salespeople do wrong that make them lose a deal versus the ones that are doing it right?
There's lots. Shit, how long do we have? Do we have another 5 hours? Fuck. The biggest thing for me is you have to have the right skill sets. You can pound your head into the ground every day, or you can learn how to actually do it right. So I always use a lot of analogies. So I tell people like this: you can dig a hole with a spoon, or you can dig it with a shovel. Both are digging the hole, and both are going to be hard work as per se. But one is going to get you a far better ROI than the other one. The shovel is the skill. And then what else needs to be done is you need to know that you're strong enough to be able to follow it through. So that's your internal work. That's, the confidence, the certainty, the conviction, as I call it, my 3 C's. You have to have all of that combined with the skill sets, wrapped up in hard work. Those are the differences. So a big thing is like your confidence. If you're not good enough, you're never going to be confident in it. If you're not skilled enough, you're not going to have certainty in it. And if you don't have any conviction in yourself, you're not going to be able to carry that and pass it on into your prospects. Those are the big things for me.
That's actually great. And so, what did you do to build that internal self-worth within yourself? Because there's a lot of people that struggle with that.
Yeah, there's lots, there's tons. I grew up, not sugarcoated. I grew up, with an Irish mother and family who demanded that you stand on your own two fucking feet and you produced what you produced. And if you got yourself in a problem, well, guess what, Skippy? You're getting out of the problem. So I grew up like that. I grew up around hard work. My mother had businesses and, properties and stuff like that that got crushed in the 2008 crunch. So I grew up around a lot of hard work, dedication, resilience, family businesses. Then it all went to, negative, and then it came back. So I grew up in that kind of environment, So I had all the internal work already done by the time I walked into sales. I'd already spent 6-7 years getting my DICK kicked in business. So I had already built up a shell to be able to walk into sales. And there's only 4 things that happen at the end of a sales calls anyway, Chris. What are those?
The 4 things?
There's 4 things.
Fear? Is it logistics, money,
partner? They would be the objections, but there's only 4 things that actually happen at the end of a sales call. So I always tell people, and once you can be comfortable enough.
Oh, I got to think about it. I don't have the money.
Yeah, again, well, they'll be objections, but there's only 4 things. So they're going to say yes, they're going to say no, they're going to go tell you to go fuck yourself, or they're just going to hang up the phone. Those are the only 4 things can happen at the end of a sales call, literally. And I got very comfortable with those 4 things pretty quickly because they don't know where I live. They don't know my social security number, as you say here in the US. They're never going to track me down, and they're never going to bump into them on the street. So I will push people as much as I need to push them, but only if they agree and they want it. That's it. So that's the 4 things. Once you get comfortable with that, off you go.
And would you say that was really good, by the way. So would you say that confidence, how is someone build that? Okay, you got the internal self-worth now. This confidence, would you say comes from competence, like refining the skill? Once you start to practice, you role play, you get better?
Yeah, it's all skill. It's all skill based, It's all skill based. You look at who's the best 3-pointer in the entire world is Steph Curry. He didn't just get there because, he had a knack for it and he could throw the ball up and, it would go in. There's thousands of reps every day that he puts in. And there's a difference between, natural talent and hard work to make your talent better. So I 1000% agree with you. And
that brings me to another question. For somebody that wanted to get into sales and develop their skill and their performance in the shortest amount of time, what would you recommend for that person?
Again, it's like, what are you trying to practice? What are you trying to get better at? What are you trying to understand? If you want to learn how to deadlift, what do? Do you go to the gym and train everything, or do you go to the gym and dedicate your time to getting your deadlifts and your posterior chain the strongest it can be? You got to know what you're doing. You got to know where you're going. You got to know what the pain point is, and you got to know what the solution is to it. Yes, you can have a generic understanding and a generic process, but after a while, once you have a general fitness up, then it's like, okay, well, I want to go and be Mr. Olympia or whatever it may be. You don't go to mum, bums, and tums classes. You go and you work with the best of the best to get better at the best of the skill. So you got to know what you're doing. You got to know where you're going, and you got to know what it is that you're trying to improve on.
That makes a lot of sense. And what I see is that what you're good at is a lot of fact finding, right? Asking a lot of different questions and really going deep, which is what I see a lot of salespeople miss out on, getting to like that deeper layer of what is the reason why they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
And so how do you challenge effectively without how do you trigger without making them kind of push them away?
Well, it comes back to the skill set, but it's also reading the room and reading the conversation and reading the words that aren't being spoken. And there's a difference between being a good salesperson and an elite level salesperson. And an elite level salesperson knows the conversation that's not being had. And in order to elicit more information, more problem finding, and more understanding of what's going on in the conversation, you need to be able to push without offending. You need to be able to attack without hurting. And you need to be able to change perspectives without inserting. And all of those things are really important when you're trying to understand what it is the prospect is actually looking for.
Yeah, that's gold right there. And so you get to that point by discovering what is it that they're looking to solve for, what is the outcome that they're looking for, correct?
Yeah, we would. So I've always coached my guys, you got to go top down. And it's the same thing I always tell people, you got to go bottom up. That's how I built the business. You got to go to the outcome. You got to go and ask, what the person is specifically looking for. From there, then you can actually ask following questions that actually align with the outcome. They're not there to piss about. They're not there to ask silly questions. They're there to figure out, can you get them to their end state? That's the goal. And if you go directly there as quickly as you can in 2024, without the fluff and the puff, that's what people want. That's what has allowed us to make the money what we've made, and thousands of people helped along the way.
Got it. And aside from sales now, because you have so much content out there and resources that people can use, because I know that you give a lot of good stuff out for free that most people would charge for. And I've heard that your motto is essentially, we're going to give you so much good stuff that eventually you're just going to come to us and, we can work together.
Yeah.
And so what drives you now?
Legacy is the only thing I have now. It's the only thing I want. As I said to you, I come from a town where there's 8,000 people. So to have made what we've made and to have what we have now as a family and, put aside and all of that great stuff, I don't need any more. So now it's about impact, it's about legacy, it's about making sure that my family name goes down over the next 20 years, 30 years in sales history. That's what I want. That's what I want to know.
And that's beautiful. What would you say you want to be remembered as? So
my biggest goal, I'll tell you, this is where my next big kind of aim is at, is I want to walk on stage with my two little girls. So I got a 10-year-old and a 4-year-old at this moment in time. And hopefully over the next couple of years we'll be able to do this. But I want to walk on stage with them in a room of, thousands of people. And I want my little girls to know that their daddy, and they see all of the faces and they get nervous as we walk on stage, I want them to know that their daddy put all of these people in this room. And their daddy is helping all of these great families have financial freedom. That's my big goal. That's the big kind of fuck you, hairy ass goal. That's what I want to do.
No, yeah, that's amazing.
That's what I'm looking for. That's the goal. That's where I'm at with it. And that's, so as you went back and you said, why are you giving so much away? Because I'm trying to buy reciprocity. Yeah. I'm trying to buy goodwill. I want know, like, and trust quickly. Yeah. So I give most of it away, and then they come then for the implementation of what we do.
Would you say that's a strategy that's allowed you to grow rapidly? Because I think that you've done $1 million in less than 4 months.
Yeah, for the first 4 months, we've collected $1 million, and we haven't slowed down since. We just crossed over 2 years last month. So 2 years in business, we haven't slowed down from that kind of run rate of what we've been making on the pat. And for me, you can only do it at, there's 3 things that can only do that for you. The first one is product, of how you can grow a business. So your product has to be fucking shit hot. It has to help people make a lot of money and actually solve a big problem. The second thing is personality. So the owner, the leader, the runner, the kind of, the hero of the story has to have a big personality to carry enough people with him. And then the third thing is production, meaning you got to produce a tremendous amount of testimonials, case studies, results, and then you can package it all together, and that's what we've been able to do over the last 2 years.
Yeah, it's very impressive. I've seen the results, and it's just like your name has been, elevating at a very fast rate than most companies and people. So congratulations to that.
Thank you very much.
So for you, with where you are now, does your company right now, it's just in North America or it's across the world?
No, we've had clients everywhere. We've had clients we just ran an event in Dublin, which was our last one. We had a guy come all the way from Australia. We had people from, Southern America, Canada, Europe, England, Ireland. They come from everywhere. Asia, another big place too for us. We have them all over the place. That's the beauty of
the online space, right?
They come from everywhere. So we're very privileged, and I'm very happy for that. So as I said to you, it's like when I tell you, I come from a place of 8,000 people, there was no internet, in the sense of, until I was maybe 15, 16 when Bebo came out. Wow. And things like that, and MySpace. So I never imagined having an online business to the scale of where it's at.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm very privileged, but I work my fucking face off. It's here, it's Saturday, you're working, I'm working, it's 3, 4 o'clock on a Saturday, there's no time off. You got to go. That's how it is.
100%, man. And so now, business aside, what are some of the guiding principles and values that you live by in your life?
There's three. There's three, and it's a great question. I take these three aspects of my guiding lights are the most important thing of how I build relationships, friendships, and partnerships and everything else. You have to trust, loyalty, and respect. Those are the three. I've got to trust, got to have loyalty, and we've got to respect each other. Okay, so trust, loyalty, respect, and love. That's it. Sorry, there's 4. Trust, loyalty, love, and respect. Those are the 4. So if you don't have those 4, we probably won't be doing any business. And I don't have time to have relationships with people if I don't have those 4 either. So that's the key aspect for me. Those are my North Stars.
Got it. And as an entrepreneur, high-performing sales trainer,
Yeah.
what does your routine look like from the moment you get up to the way that you run your day? What are some rituals, habits that you found really effective day to day?
Every day you have to train the mind and body, I truly believe. And what that means to me is, so I typically train twice a day if I'm on 75 hard. Andy Frisella, there's a big shout out to you. So I weights, and then I have cardio. And I also train sales every day. Every day I'm reading, but I also then, my training is coaching. So in order to be, a good coach, you have to train. So I do the same thing every day. And I don't know about you, but I presume you do the same thing every day. The best of the best do the same thing every single day, monotonous to the point where it's actually just repetitive, in a sense of like, when you get in the car, you're already using the blinkers before you even get up to the stop line. You know what I mean? So I don't do anything that's too crazy, So no real morning routines of cold baths and, singing to the chakras and fucking chasing the stars around the sun and all this kind of bollocks. Very, very simple. I get up, coffee, train, go to work. That's it, every day.
And for self-development or spiritual growth, is there any books or anything that you read outside of that? Or you're just like very habitual and routine based?
I'm a very simple man. And I'm not big into, now don't get me wrong, everyone is well within the right to do whatever they feel is the right thing for them. But for me, I'm not big into leading the driving force from some other force. It's not up to everyone else, it's up to me. You're not going to get the power and the strength to do the work by reading a book. You have to take the information and the education from it, and then you got to go and you actually have to produce yourself. So that's where I'm at with it. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of great people out there that use a lot of spirituality and a lot of, religion and stuff like that as their driving forces. It's not mine, unfortunately. Mine is my family and making sure that I can take care of the people that I love.
So that's what pretty much motivates you and gets you up every single day.
Yeah, and fear.
Yeah.
Fear is the biggest driver in my life.
Fear of not being the father and the legacy builder for your family.
Fear of everything. Fear of losing it all. Fear of someone catching me. Fear of that I'm not doing enough. Fear of that I haven't produced enough. Fear of if I don't keep working at the level that I'm working at, I won't have the legacy. Everything is driven by fear. It's not reality, isn't it? It's terrible. Yeah, I've come to realization over that the last couple of years. It's tremendous amount of fear.
Got it.
But I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing that. I really respect the way that you live your life. It's working really well for you, and so that's why I wanted to understand more about how it is that you function and operate.
Scared shitless.
Well, Patrick Bet-David taught me it's like you got to stay paranoid. Only the paranoid survive, right?
Yeah.
So having that amount of fear is what keeps you driving, pushing, selling the vision, and keep going.
Yeah.
So I respect that a lot.
Yeah. A lot of these people are Patrick, Andy Frisella, Gary Vee, and all of these great people. I guarantee you strip it all back, there's a tremendous amount of, insecurity and fear there.
Yeah.
Because once you make the money that you need to make to live the life that you want to have, then what keeps driving you? What is it? Is it legacy? Is it fear? Is it anxiety? Is it stress? Is it worry? Is it, passion? What is it? Guarantee you a lot of it is uncertainty and actually fear and imposter syndromes.
Yeah, 100%, man. And so when you're not working, which is probably 90% of the time,
Yeah.
what do you enjoy to kind of wind down? Maybe grab a coffee.
Yeah, grab a coffee. I like to travel. I like to come to Miami. I like to go around, shake hands, and kiss babes. As I said to you earlier on, that it's not weird. Where I come from, that actually is okay. It's like the presidents go around shaking hands and kissing babes and taking photos and stuff like that. But I like to travel for sure. I like to meet new people. I don't think the gym is a way to take you out of. I like going to the gym for me is a necessity. It's part and parcel of being a businessman. So I don't go to the gym to get away. It's part and parcel of the person I am. But I watch a lot of telly. Flake out.
What is telly? Like
Telly
television?
is like TV.
Oh, okay.
We call it telly.
Telly.
Television for us. But do a lot of that kind of stuff. Just chill out, really. You know, I'm not too crazy. I don't go to the fucking museum and I don't go looking at fucking fish in a tank. So, no. I'm working.
You have a very unique personality. It's like you're a killer in sales, but you're also very nonchalant and very down to earth, very calm, very chill.
I try to be.
Yeah.
I try to be. It's as I said to you earlier on. It's like the personality of the leader is a big part of what people, you know, are attached to. And I don't fabricate it. This is what I am. This is who I am. I shout. I curse. I bawl. I come in. I shake hands, and we have a good time. And if you like me, you like me. And if you don't like me, you can get fucked. That's how it is. So
I respect it a lot, man.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you coming here, man. And I've had a great time getting to know you and
Awesome.
more about your accomplishments and what it takes to really succeed in the game of sales. Do you want to maybe add something to the audience, something that we haven't spoke about or haven't touched base on, something that you might want to just share?
Sure. I'll tell you this, and as you well know, there's no one coming to save anybody. What everyone has in 2024 is an abundance of opportunity in every way, shape, or form. I see that with all of the salespeople that we coach, train, and develop. The companies that some of these guys are working for, you're like, how is this a company? How are you making money? How are you actually helping people? How are you monetizing this? How are you making a capitalist form of interaction? Some of these companies are absolutely bonkers in the sense of like spending 5, 7, 10,000 on showing people how to play the guitar, or showing people how to build, you know, a car wash business, or showing people how to, you know, deliver food, or whatever it may be, these crazy businesses. And I look at, you know, young kids coming up, so we coach a lot of young guys, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, making thousands of dollars. So I would say to everybody, nobody is coming to save you. There's an abundance out there for everybody, and go out there and get yours. That's what it is.
That's right, man. I love it. And so if people want to get to know more about you and connect with you, where can they find you?
Yeah, so on Instagram, it's Bill Walsh Official. Facebook, we've got a Facebook group with nearly 10,000 people in it. So it is called the Objection Box Community. Pretty original, but that's what we do. We also have a YouTube channel. It's called the Objection Box. I have a free school community as well, where there's about 20 hours of education in there for free. So if you're not where you need to be financially, jump in there. It's completely free. I give you 20 hours of my coaching training. I also go live multiple times there a week. So as I said to you earlier on, it's like I'm trying to buy reciprocity. I'm trying to get you guys as much money as I possibly can without you ever investing $1. And then that's how the know, like, and trust has been. We haven't used a whole lot of ads in the last 2 years. It's all word of mouth, upsells, cross-sells, you know, referrals, people shouting their name. So long may that continue. That's where I'm at with it.
Respect that, man, and wishing you continued success and new heights for you and your family.
Appreciate
and that, man, you continue to impact and change lives with sales, brother.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure having you here.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.